to Dubstock Live, brought to you by Mancini's Sleep World with the Warriors insider Monte Poole. I'm Kerith Burke. The Warriors had a quick trip to LA. They have to pack an L on the plane. Now, in the end, this was only a 3-point loss, but when you were watching this game, watching the turnovers, watching the free throws, man, this one was tough. But we need to talk about defense first, actually. And before even that, we want to thank everybody who's watching on YouTube. If you have any questions for us, put them in the chat. The whole next block after the commercial will be your questions. And I imagine after this game, you got some questions, some observations.
Overreaction time.
Hey, why not? Let's have a little fun. Before we overreact, the Warriors are 10-3. That is still good for number 2 in the West, so gather yourself. But 2 of those losses came versus the Clippers. Okay.
Yes.
Why are the Clippers? Why? This was the 5th straight loss to the Clippers. Why are the Clippers the Warriors' kryptonite?
Well, first of all, it's not just 2 losses against the Clippers. It's 2 losses on nights when the Clippers were playing on the second half of a back-to-back set. Both times. They were coming from Denver the night before. They beat the Warriors at Chase Center. And tonight, they played, after playing last night, beating Utah at home. To me, that's concerning. You know, you would think that at some point the Warriors would be able to overtake them with their pace. Did not work. So I just look at this game, and if you're a Warriors fan, you're looking at this and you're going, okay, Zubac is an issue. They really did a great job on a couple guys tonight, but Norm Powell got going. And the Clippers just their defense is an issue for the Warriors. I think they can solve it, but they need some work on it. All
right, just looking at a few of the numbers, you can tell the Warriors had their defense on lock. Again, a top 5 defense here. Came in with that strategy. Okay, we've got to handle Harden. We've got to handle Zubac. So for Harden, he hits below his scoring average. He only had 12 points tonight. He averages 21. But look at that, Monte. 4 of 15. They really frustrated Harden. So you see it in the assists. He had to give up the ball. Warriors had to be pleased with that, even though the direction of this game didn't go there.
Yeah, they had to love what they did to Harden tonight. I mean, he only shot 2 free throws, which for him is a victory.
Holy what?
That's a victory for, anytime you place Harden, you get only 2 free throws, you take that.
Yeah.
The 4-15 shooting, you love that too. The assist-turnover ratio wasn't what you desire, 16-3. Usually you can get them up higher than that on turnovers and lower on assists. But the Clippers are a better team than, they're not just a Harden team. They're a good team. They're not a great team. They're still waiting for Kawhi Leonard. Maybe he'll come back sometime soon. But what you saw tonight was James Harden being more of an orchestrator, more of a distributor than a scorer.
16 assists, that's a big deal. Wiggins and GP2 were the primary defenders on Harden. Zubac held below his scoring average as well. He only had 8. Average is 16, but where you saw his impact was, of course, the rebounding. Kevon Looney was out in this game. Looney's rebounded.
They missed him.
Yes. So the task fell on TJD, on Draymond. That's literally a tall task. The Warriors doing their best with defense, forcing other guys on the Clippers to perform. And they did. Norman Powell.
Oh. Well, they've been hurt by him before.
Yes,
you look at the Clippers on their offense and you think the 2 guys you got to worry about are Harden and Norm Powell. They took away one of them. The other one got going. And Norm Powell is a streaky shooter, and tonight he got going. And once he sees 2 or 3 shots go in, it can get bad for you. And tonight he got 23 points because they were going in.
All right, so when you're looking at this loss, a 3-point loss, and by the way, the Warriors had the final possession. Steve Kerr said he tried to call timeout. Referees didn't hear it. GP2 left to take that final shot. Okay, so awkward ending. Free throws, turnovers. Let's start with the turnovers, okay? Because the Warriors had 13 in the first half. You let your opponent build a huge lead. You're climbing uphill the rest of the game. That was it.
Steve Kerr was asked about the last game they played the Clippers, and he said, we got to fix the turnovers. Last time, it killed us last time. And the Warriors committed 5 turnovers inside of the first 5 minutes.
Before the first timeout.
Yeah.
There it was.
It's like, and from there on, they're playing behind, and they tied it later, but they never passed them. They were playing from behind, and that takes a toll. Even though the other team is playing on a back-to-back, when you're playing from behind for the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, You catch up in the third quarter late,
Yeah.
but then you run out of gas, and you have a bad play at the end of the third quarter where Buddy Hield fouls Coffee and gives him up 3 free throws with less than a second to go. And the Warriors just in the fourth quarter couldn't pull it out.
Yeah, I was excited because it was 72-72, but then there was that review, and it was like, okay, no. In the fourth quarter, the Clippers are going to take the lead.
And he made his free throws.
And he made them. You know what?
All
We're gonna
3
talk
of them.
about that next, just quickly, because the number flashed on the screen, but let me just say it. 19 turnovers for the Warriors. That resulted in 31 points for LA. Okay, the other thing, free throws. Before we even talk about that, let's let Devin Booker talk about that, because, yes, playing in this arena, listen, it's not the arena's fault,
right.
But here's Devin Booker giving some insight into this Intuit Dome.
I missed the free throw, man. I was pissed. So I think K missed 2 down there too, so it might work.
It was pretty impressive.
Hell yeah, you spend $2 billion, put a wall up.
Oh my. Okay, so that's not a political wall. All right, so the Warriors went 9 of 19.
Yep.
They missed 10 free throws. And again, I'll keep repeating it, they lost by 3. These numbers are ugly. And the Warriors came into this game very rough on their free throw shooting.
Yeah, they're last in the league in free throw shooting. That's where they are. And the thing is that it's not getting better. It's getting worse. They're at 71-2 for the season going into this game. But over the last 4 games before this game, they were at 67%. That's awful by NBA standards. And so tonight, this is the season low, 47.4% tonight. If they make 5 of those free throws,
Yeah.
it's not a great percentage still, but at least you probably win the game. Yeah. So, and Steve Kerr was asked about it post game, and he said basically that that's not something you really coach. I think that's a player thing. You work on those. Everybody works on those after practice, but they're not translating to the game. And so you look at this team, and aside from Steph Curry and Buddy Hield, everybody else is below 75%.
Yikes.
Everybody.
Yikes, yeah.
Everybody else.
Big yikes there. And I think Steve, it might have been our friend Dalton, was asking about the free throws post-game, and Steve downplayed it a little bit, knowing that they came in number 1, the worst team in the league there. But he's like, well, we were 10-2, so do I think it's a problem? No, but that's kind of, is that a coach taking the heat off his guys?
But he also said, it hadn't cost us until tonight.
Okay.
So
it is a problem.
Yeah,
it's
a problem they got to fix. I mean, and Draymond said too, same thing, that, if you want to contend in this league, you got to make free throws.
Okay. All right. So you said Steph is one of the guys who's making them.
He and Buddy.
He was 0 for 0 tonight. He didn't even make it to the line. But let's hear from Steph Curry.
Very accurate portrayal of the game. We lost it in the first quarter where we got into a situation where we were rushing on offense. And I think against the Clippers, I think we've had almost 40 turnovers in 2 games. And you can feel it because they're a great defensive team, but when you play into their hands and rush and turn the ball over, there's no defense for those possessions. And it does say we have a lot of grit and a lot of fight to come back and give ourselves a chance, 1 possession down the stretch. Our defense in the second half was awesome. But, 2 games in a row against the Clippers and once against Cleveland, turnovers dictate the momentum early, and then you kind of leave yourself at the whim of, makes or misses down the stretch to try to get over the hump. So we got to make those corrections against good defenses.
Mr. Curry, I came from the Netherlands to visit Quinton Post this weekend, and I'm curious for.
Quinton Post,
yeah. I'm curious for your thoughts on him and his potential.
He's playing well in the Santa Cruz right now. Guys like him who love the game, have a specific skill set, and are playing well, and just got to be patient. His time will come. And every team needs a shooting big that can put the ball in the basket. It's just a matter of when he'll get his opportunity. So as long as he sticks with it, keeps working, he's got a great attitude. He's a great teammate. He's been great for us so far when he's been with us or when he's been down in Santa Cruz. And I'm sure he'll crack through eventually.
Hey, Steph.
All right, 26 points for Steph, 6 3-pointers in this one. I saw a picture of that final possession for the Dubs, and Steph had 2 guys on him and another trying to blitz him. He managed to get that pass off to GP2. It just didn't go in.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a situation where the Clippers are going to watch 2 guys mostly, and it's going to be Steph and Buddy. And if anybody else makes a 3, they'll take it.
They'll take it.
Yeah.
All righty. The Warriors bench in this game, when you look at plus minus, the Warriors bench did a lot of work trying to help the Dubs dig out of this deficit. Again, the bench coming through. Looking at the box score, though, it was only Kuminga in double digits there. So how did they do it?
Well, they played pretty good defense for one thing. I mean, these guys are all, the only one that was a negative plus minus was Kyle, and he was -2. Everybody else was positive. And so it's the starters who were all in the negative. So they came into the game in the second quarter. And, well, first they put a little push late in the first quarter. The Warriors were falling apart. Second unit comes in, the turnovers go away a little bit. They had 5 in the first 5 minutes. I think they had 2 the rest of the 7 minutes. So it got better. In the second quarter, though, you saw Buddy get a couple of shots going, JK get going a little bit. So it's an energy thing. And there's certain nights when you're going to see that, when the second unit has been pretty good most of the year. And tonight, they weren't good enough to overcome what the Clippers brought back at them in terms of Norm Powell, Nick Batum hit a couple of threes. I mean, those guys off the bench in LA are pretty good too.
All right, just getting started here on Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World. Thanks to everybody watching us locally and the folks tuning in on YouTube. Your questions are coming up next. They're going to be a surprise. I don't have my computer here, so they're going to be a good surprise. Ask away. We've got you next.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Mancini Sleep World. Visit Mancini Sleep World for our Black Friday sale. Save big on premium mattresses plus free delivery. Hurry in now or visit us online at sleepworld.com.
All right.
Sure, Jerry Stackhouse isn't pleased with tonight's defense for the most part.
For the folks on YouTube, I know you can see me, but I can't see you. I am having technical difficulties with my computer. So thank you to the usual folks tuning in tonight. And our producer, Dan, has scooped up some of your questions. We'll see if we can answer those. Dan, can you give us a preview of topics? Maybe not the exact question. I kind of like a surprise, but topics.
Yeah, bring them on. Okay. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Okay, that's fine. We have a topic as well, if we need one. All right, great. I mean, the Warriors won one quarter, and that was a pretty big quarter.
Yeah, third quarter.
Yeah.
There was a comeback quarter. That's when
they
tied
hung
it.
around.
Yeah.
They hung around. They gave them, even with an awful night, they gave themselves a chance to win. I just feel like a massive homer saying that because.
But the Clippers also helped them out. The Clippers gave them, 30 points off their turnovers. So the turnover battle was semi-even. But if you're the Warriors, because it happened the first time too, it's happened twice in a row against these guys, you're a little bit worried about it because it hurt you last time, it hurt you again this time, even though you got 30 points off their turnovers.
The Clippers had more turnovers than the Warriors in this game?
Yeah.
One
more.
One more.
Yeah.
Just noticed that.
Well, in the second half, the Warriors turned up the defense. It got much better, and then the Clippers started turning the ball over. That's how the Warriors kind of get back into it in the third quarter there. So, but again, it's.
I mean, the Warriors won the rebounding battle too on a night where they were smaller, way smaller. Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World with Monte and Kerith there. We're just looking at this box score still. Monte pointed out that the Clippers had one more turnover than the Warriors did. And again, on a night where the Warriors were playing without Kevon Looney and his impact on the boards, the Warriors out-rebounded the Clips 56-50.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Warriors had more points in the paint by 8 tonight. When they lost to them last month at Chase Center, the Clippers had 20 more points in the paint.
Okay.
That was Zboch,
Okay.
doing a lot of work there. But So they did some good things, but the turnovers in the free throw shooting is too much.
Yeah, the only thing that matters is after the win and loss column, and they lost this one. All right, let's get to your questions on YouTube. The first one, do you think the Dubs have a legit second option? Why wasn't Kuminga on the floor in the final minute? Well, the Dubs are thinking their second option varies from game to game. I mean, Steve Kerr identified that it would probably be Andrew Wiggins. That's sort of what the team wanted. He was the second option. Then you have to look at maybe, is that going to be Buddy? Is it going to be Kuminga? So I'm bouncing around a little bit, but do you want to get to Salvador's question?
On any of those 3 nights, on any night rather, it can be any one of those 3 guys. I mean, we've seen it already this season where some nights it was Kuminga, some nights it was Buddy, and some nights it was Wiggins. Wiggins was good tonight, and so he only took 12 shots, and he scored 22 points on 12 shots. That's terrific.
Also while handling a lot of Harden.
Oh yeah, he dealt with Harden. So Wiggins played a great game tonight, but on a consistent basis, there won't be a single guy, I think, that will be that second 20-point scorer. But you got 3 guys who can do it. And if somebody else can possibly do it, they'll sneak in every now and then. Maybe you can sneak in, a Moses with a 20-point game or somebody like that. But for the most part, it's got to be Wiggins, Kuminga, and Buddy Hield. And those guys, most nights, at least one of them will give you 20, maybe 2 of them.
Yeah, okay. All right, we have another bench question coming up next. I think it's about Pods. How do the Warriors get Pods back on track?
Boy.
This is a good question. I actually thought it was his mask that was bothering him with his shooting, but that hasn't alleviated.
No, the mask is gone, but his shooting difficulties continue. And, Steve Kerr thinks maybe part of it's he's lost a little bit of confidence with his shot, and you don't think of Pods as being a guy who loses confidence because he's always, believing in himself and always trusts himself. But you look at him, he looks a little tentative out there. And so it's one thing to say, you're ready to handle anything, but it's another thing to go out there on the court and actually do it. So we know he's a better shooter than he is right now. I mean, this season he's not been shooting well at all. And so he's not going to stay around that 20% from 3 all season long. He's better than that, but you got to start making some shots. And when he makes some shots, everything changes about that second unit.
Yeah, 0 for 4, 0 for 2 for Pods tonight. Is that like a chicken and the egg thing? Like maybe he's not getting as many shots as he wants. Then he presses on the ones that he has. Then he doesn't make those, so he doesn't want to take them.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you're seeing him on occasion pass up shots that he wouldn't normally pass up. And that's a good sign. That's a clear sign of maybe I shouldn't shoot this. Find somebody else. Yeah. And so he's got to get out of that. I mean, when you're open, you should let it fly. And when you're a good shooter like he is, let it fly. But I saw even tonight, there were a couple of times when he could have had a shot, but he's looking around for somebody else.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, you got to go back into yourself and say, if you're open, let it go.
Let it go. Yeah, some of that's being a good teammate looking for, making the extra pass.
Well, yeah, if you're open, I mean.
That's going to be the refrain he hears. If you are open, shoot it.
Yes, and JK, on the reverse sometimes, JK will take the contested shot sometimes, and it's like JK misses an open teammate.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things, it's a learning process, and it's for both of these guys, but I do think at some point Podziemski will find his shot, but if it's not there, and it hasn't been there lately for most of this year, it's been a problem.
All right. Somebody had an observation about the broadcast tonight. Let's get to this one. I really appreciate this. Zena was amazing on Postgame Live. So Zena Keita was in the analyst chair for the first time here. She's been an analyst for other things, but she sat in for Festus, so she's right next to Chris Mullin, a Hall of Famer, a Dream Teamer, giving her analysis of the game right next to him and Monte Hill. We love you, Monte.
Well, I mean, she's more than competent. She's really good at this. And so tonight she showed that. I thought it was, her debut, sort of. It's like, okay, you handle it very well. So I liked what I heard. I think most people who heard it also liked it. So I want to see more.
Let's see a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Festus. Out, buddy.
We love you, Festus.
No, I know.
You know I love you, Festus. Come on. But,
that's right.
But, it's okay to give Zena some love, too, because she's on the job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, Zena, we're so proud of you. You are a wonderful teammate, and we're happy to see you in that chair. All right. The starting lineup tonight, speaking of people filling in for other people, Lindy Waters III hyperextended his knee in the last game. He left the arena with like a massive ice pack. He was walking gingerly. Suddenly he's in the starting lineup tonight. What did you think about Lindy in the starting lineup?
Well, I mean, he made a quick shot. He made 2 shots. I mean, again, Steve Kerr's history is that for the most part, whenever he can avoid disrupting the second unit guys, he will.
Yeah.
You know, and there's been times in the past when Moses Moody was that guy who was out of the rotation, and he'll get a start. And it's kind of like, where did that come from? Well,
Yeah.
it came because Steve is like, no, I want to leave the second unit as it is. And so starting Lindy only played he played 28 minutes tonight, so that's a pretty good run for him. But for the most part, that's what it's about, a shooter and not really disrupting the rest of his rotation. And Lindy is, he's in the rotation sometimes, sometimes not.
Yeah.
Kind of like Moses was for the last couple of years,
Yeah.
And so it's a logical thing for Steve to do given his history.
Yeah, Lindy's the first bucket of the game was a Lindy Waters 3. So there you go, make the most of your opportunities. All right, let's hear from Andrew Wiggins at the podium.
Hard, and you guys checked into 4 for 15. How do you feel like you guys did on him defensively?
I feel like we did all right. He wasn't scoring a bunch, but he was making plays. He was getting his teammates involved. Kind of just controlling their their offensive flow. But I feel like we did an okay job.
You've played James Harden teams a lot throughout your career. What are some of the challenges that go into defending that kind of system where he has the ball a lot and they run a ton of pick and rolls?
It's tough. He's a very smart player. And it has a lot of good assets. He's a great shooter, playmaker, can pass his ass off, and he can someone that can take over a game in a lot of different ways. So every time going up against him, it's tough. You gotta make it hard on him, and you gotta bring your A game.
Andrew, you guys struggled tonight at the free throw line. Obviously, it's been kind of a season-long thing as a team. What are your thoughts on that, and what has helped you maybe get in a rhythm in the past from the free throw line?
Repetition. That's the best thing for it. Just getting in the gym and getting shots up. Feeling good about yourself, so you feel good in the game.
What kind of challenges do the Clippers have they presented you guys defensively with the way they've been guarding?
They're aggressive defenders. They try to take you out of, your first and your second option. They're physical.
Hey Andrew, so what stand out to you the most to the new arena that shocked you or surprised you?
It's an amazing arena. It's an amazing arena from all the the locker room's amazing, especially for a visitor's locker room. But I think the best thing are the people are very nice. People are very nice. The way they talk, the way they greet you, before, after the game, the people were very nice people.
This was one.
Hey, that's a wonderful endorsement. Hey, but listen, the Warriors are going to be back at Chase Center coming up soon. Let's take a look at this schedule to see if the Warriors can get back in the win column. All right, we're back on YouTube. I can't see you, but you can see us. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Yeah, we'll take a look at that schedule. Watching this game, there were some extremely frustrating moments. But if you're 10-3 and you're number 2 in the West, and it was only a 3-point loss and you played this crappy, okay, I don't think they're going to come home like, oh man, and kicking rocks. They're not going to be pleased, but they know precisely what they need to fix.
Yeah, but they knew that going into the game. That's the problem, is that they knew from the last game what they had to fix this game, and the number one thing was turnovers. They did fix some other things. Zubac didn't score many buckets. He wasn't. Last time he was scoring big buckets in the paint.
Okay.
Tonight wasn't so much, but he got his rebounds. And Looney's absence was felt there.
Yeah,
because
I think
Looney's really good on rebounds. He had 11 when they played the Clippers last time. So, but you did that. But if you're the Warriors, you're looking at the turnovers again, and like Steph said, we fell behind early.
Yeah.
And the rest of the night you're playing catch up because you fell behind, because you had an awful start.
Okay. Yeah.
And we've seen it happen before, and they knew that was a problem going into the game.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
There it was.
It
right after tip-off.
It felt like the effort was there.
Yeah.
This wasn't like a night in LA.
Good
kind
intentions
of
don't get you W's though.
Right,
You
but
know?
it's not a night out in LA.
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No, the effort, I like the effort, but
Yeah.
good intentions don't get you
No.
results. Execution does,
Yeah.
and they didn't do that very well early on. Second half, they played a really good game.
Yeah.
Really good half, I should say.
I don't put this game in the column yet of like, Ooh,
Oh.
like the 4 or 5, like.
Wasn't a stinker, no.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
just
Okay. Welcome back to Dubs Talk. All right, what do we have coming up next? It's the Atlanta Hawks home at Chase Center, and then a back-to-back to bring us into the weekends. Then the Warriors come back home. So yeah, a little of this, a little of that. We always like to mention it's Grant Liffman's Hawks. Grant Liffman was one of the hosts here on Dubs Talk. We miss you dearly, but it's our show now. So.
Grant Liffman is one of the Warriors outsiders. That's how
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That made an impact around some of the NBC Sports regionals.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I got to text him, see if we can meet up. What else? Another big thing coming up on Wednesday. It's a Steph Curry podcast. Anytime you can talk to Steph Curry one-on-one, like exclusively, that's a big deal. So Wednesday, brand new episode of Dubs Talk. He's talking about life without Klay. He's talking about his three-point record. He's talking about his goal of a 5th ring. What were the things? That's Wednesday. It's coming out Wednesday.
Yeah.
You did that interview with Dalton. What stood out to you about the things that Steph is reflecting on?
Well, I mean, I asked him about the 5th ring and how important it was, and his answer was very revealing. Wasn't a surprise answer, but it was like, okay, he really wants that thing.
Yes.
And he knows it. He understands that, the more rings you get, the higher up on the NBA totem pole of history you are. And Magic Johnson got 5 rings. Tim Duncan got 5 rings. Kobe Bryant got 5 rings.
Okay.
Steph has 4 right now.
So he wants to be in an echelon.
Yeah, the next echelon. Now, nobody's going to catch Bill Russell's 11. That's not going to happen. Michael Jordan 6, that's tough to get too.
Okay.
But 5 is like, if you're Steph, you're thinking, Kobe, Duncan, Magic, that's good company.
Steve Kerr 9.
What's that?
9 for Steve, player and coach.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he would always welcome another one.
Yeah, I think so, yes, because he would have, if he, 10, a ring for each finger, that's insane.
And 1 for each thumb.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I actually appreciate when Steph talks about a 5th ring, you can feel his conviction.
Yes.
He believes this is possible. He believes he's
Yes.
with the right team to get it
Yes.
done, especially alongside Draymond. I do think Klay's absence or Klay's departure was kind of like maybe that's not how I envisioned getting this done, but
No,
okay.
it's not. I mean, you look at this too, and Klay for all these years, he knew Klay was his guy next to him, and whenever Klay was healthy, and they were the backcourt. So far this season, he's already had 4 backcourt partners.
Yeah.
It started off with Wiggins because Melton was out. Melton comes back, he plays some. Also, Moody's gotten a start there. So you've gotten different guys coming in, and on Lindy. So that's 4 different guys, and after all these years of the same guy, whenever he's out there, it's a little bit different. But Steph didn't seem too down about it. He seemed to believe that, it's something that they got to work on, but the Klay stuff happened over a number of years. It didn't happen immediately.
Yeah.
So
Steph would not have signed 1 more year of an extension if he didn't want to stay here, if he didn't think it was possible.
exactly. And, and it is possible. The way they're playing right now, they're off to a pretty good start. Can they keep it up? And still, I think they're waiting in the weeds for another move.
Okay. All right. The Warriors coming home. They will be back on Wednesday, and that's when you can listen to the Steph Curry podcast. Thank you for watching Dubs Talk, the show, brought to you by Mancini Sleep Pro. Maybe another reason Steph Curry signed that extension when it was $60 million. What was it?
Yeah.
What was it? Maybe a little bit.
He's going to get money wherever he goes, though.
Listen,
yeah.
He's rich.
Yes.
His sponsorship money matches
exactly.
his salary money.
Exactly. So it's not like, okay, his salary, now I got money. No. He's got money and he's going to get more money, and he'll get money when he's retired.
Yes. That kind of in the back of my head, I was smiling about that. Like, yes, he thinks he could win another championship, but 60 mil, that's pretty
He's already set for life, and so are his children, and
yes.
maybe their
and
children.
His children's children, yes.
Yes.
Listen, the charity work he does, putting that into the foundation, and whatever people want to do with their money is their business, but it always makes me smile to see what the Curry family does with theirs.
He said when he got his first big contract, he said that was going to be part of the plan, and he's followed through on that. Some of it out of his own pocket, so that's impressive stuff to do, and he's really done a good job of keeping a lot of it local here.
Especially for Oakland.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oakland.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
All right, friends, thank you so much for watching Dubs Talk. We will be back in your ears very soon with a new podcast. I'm recording a little one tomorrow, and then the big one Wednesday is that Steph Curry interview, so stay tuned for that. Take care. We'll see you later.